raise our heads up. We believe in the spiritual part of our lives, and we become strong. Sometimes we just don't practice. And success is about practicing, working at it, having information. Sometimes we use the phone the wrong way. Most of the time when I pick up the phone, it's to gather information. I call it Professor Google. Research, research, research. I don't care about talking to someone or texting. I want information. You grow by information. One of the other challenges, and you saw it at the end, was very, very profound, is that even when you're successful, you have to prove yourself over and over and over again. See, Ben and Destiny Shaw successful, turning the first album, all the executives said, no, go back into the studio. And you have to have the courage, the social courage sometimes. And we'll talk about social courage. It's a little different. You have to have the courage to say no. And you have to have the social courage to say yes. You know, when you try to move in this box, y'all give me a hand and try to move. So we ain't getting no losses. All right. What keeps you from moving?
The corners.
The corners of the walls, right? The walls in our head. The walls that are in our head. That's what keeps us from moving. But when you step outside of this box, now you can move around the box, right? There you go. Yeah. Thank you, ladies. So the key there is about boxing and thinking. Every day, boxing and thinking. People tell us what we can't do, not what we can do. And then there's other things like building a team. Then there's ego that gets in the way, right? I'm going to give you a nugget. You will remember this one. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. That gives you a new definition for ego, right? Might be a few people in here with egos, huh? Deadens the pain of stupidity. So guys, I want to, before we do the questions and answers, well, I think Dr. Baldwin is going to, there you go. He's going to facilitate the question and answers. Should I sit or should I stay?
Great question there. They put the shield on here for
All right.
We teach, and I mean, we have biology, we have political science, or is it something that only the business department should be focusing on?
Entrepreneurial spirit. There's a thing called intrapreneurial. There's entrepreneurial and there's intrapreneurial. See, I'm a G. Y'all didn't know that. Entrepreneurial is when you work in an organization and you might be the dean or you might be the president of a corporation. And you run that like it's your business. So entrepreneurial skills are all around us. We must have it. It should be taught everywhere.
Good afternoon, Panther fans and family. My name is Tony Hall, and today I have the privilege to speak with the Dr. Mathew Knowles. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm excited about being here. I had
wonderful session. Everybody was engaged in the audience. I'm just very pleased.
Man, I'll say this. You are a man who wears many, many coats. You're an author, a professor, an entrepreneur, an executive manager, and founder and CEO of Music World Entertainment.
Well, I'm blessed. That's the word I'll use, blessed.
Wow, that's so amazing. I was doing a little research on you, and I saw you went to Fisk University.
I did. I graduated from Fisk. I shared that I had never been to a black school before.
Wow.
In my junior year, I transferred from the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. I transferred to Fisk. Was a basketball player.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed myself. I had, again, never been in a black surrounding, so it was all new and different for me.
Wow. So I see that you got your degree in economics and you were in sports and business. So what made you transition from that area to music?
Well, I shared the story today. After leaving Xerox, I sold MRI and CT scanners. One of the first blacks to do that. Then I was a neurosurgical specialist with Johnson & Johnson. And I was having a procedure. I got paged by the overhead hospital paging system, which is not good. I thought maybe we had lost a patient, but when I got to the surgeon's office, he said he could not use my instruments because of the cost. And at that moment, I knew it was time for me to make a transition. Today we know it as managed care. But back then it was the first generation of managed care.
Yeah.
So I knew whenever I was going to sell cost, that's to me what being a salesperson.
Yeah.
It's being a robot. Anybody can walk in and say, "Hey, mine is $10."
Well, as you can see, you're on a college campus. And as college students, we come in with this mentality thinking that we're going to do one thing. But like you were saying in your lecture today, you were talking about figuring out what your passion is. So as college students, how exactly do we figure out what our passion is when we're really just trying to get a degree at this point now?
Well, there's this one thing in your life
Mm-hmm.
right now that you are excited about,
Right.
that you wake up in the morning, you think about it, you go to sleep thinking about it. What is that for you?
For me, I would say it's interviewing. It's this moment right here that we're having. I have always been the type of person to want to get to know people just a little bit more. I've always been that kind of person that loves to build rapport. And I can't lie, I literally love waking up just talking. I love it.
And I can tell. It shows on your face.
Thank
That
you.
smile, your face is lit up
Thank you.
when you said your passion.
Thank you so
That's
much.
when you know it's your passion, when it lights you up like that.
Wow.
Like when I'm on the stage and I don't know, they had something on
The teleprompter.
teleprompter.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not what I'm feeling today.
Right.
It's how you feel in the moment that
Right.
gives you that excitement. And so I'm proud of it. It's very clear for you, for me to see you and say, this could be the next Oprah.
Wow. It's crazy you say that because Oprah has always been a role model to me. And just you saying that, just let me know I'm on the right path.
You're on the right path.
Thank you so much. My next question has to deal with being uncomfortable. So I understand you grew up in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
All my family's from Alabama, and I understand the whole dealing with the racism and all of that. So when was the moment you realized in order for you to succeed, you had to become comfortable being uncomfortable?
Well, that's a really deep question. I don't think you really ever become comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You try to tolerate it
Right.
as best you can. But for me, it was all those days, and early, late elementary, junior high. It made me better. I remember my first day in junior high, Litchfield Junior High School. It was 1,000 white kids. It was 6 of us. And that first day of class, I never forget his name, Mr. Jones, was an English teacher. And I read a paragraph, and I made a mistake. And this whole class laughed and threw spitballs, and, it made me a better reader.
Right.
I took from that you won't laugh at me again because I'm going to really focus on reading.
That is,
So
that's
you
so
take
cool.
that negative and turn it into a positive.
Right. Wow. And I feel like that's something everybody needs to learn. I want to kind of talk about you being a professor. So I understand you did teach at
Your other school.
Southern. No, yeah, I was gonna say the other school.
We won't say the name.
Yeah.
That other school. For 8 years.
For 8 years. For 8 years.
And I taught at Rice for 1 year.
Wow. So what brought you to the classroom?
Well, it was a combination. The then president wanted to have this entertainment degree.
Right.
And so we named it ERM, Entertainment Recording Management and School Communications. And she felt in Houston who would be better qualified to lead that new program than myself. And so I was asked. I had already started doing lectures at certain schools, and so I actually, at Fisk in 2007, I taught there for a year. I would fly down from New York. So I really enjoyed the classroom because I think there's two types of professors. There's those that are really academia, book.
Yeah.
And then there's those like myself that we come from a real place of knowledge and we don't need a book. Because when I leave here, I gotta do what I talked about on the stage.
Right.
You know? So it's organic, and I think that we don't give students enough credit because you guys know when it's fake.
Yeah. I'll say that.
We'll
I'll
leave it
say
at that. You guys know when it's fake.
Yeah. Wow. My last question. You're such a huge influence in the media industry, in the entertainment industry. Can you tell me a time where you had failed at something, but you had to turn around and bounce right back? And how did you come
Well,
back?
I failed a lot of times and stuff. I always think about Jagged Edge.
I like the Jagged Edge.
When I used to manage Jagged Edge, that was a failure. I thought that I could have I managed Jagged Edge
Right.
and Destiny's Child at the same time. And I thought that it was a wise idea to cut costs, that I would have them on the same tour bus. Wasn't a good idea.
No, not at all. Not at all.
That wasn't a good idea. You'll learn more about that from Destiny's Child Untold Story that'll be out in June.
Wow. Exclusive right
my
here.
next book, Destiny's Child, The Untold Story.
Wow. Thank
Because
you
you
so
think
much.
y'all know why Destiny's Child broke up, but y'all
We're gonna
really
find
don't
out
know.
the truth?
You're gonna find out the truth.
Ooh, we're gonna find out the truth. I'm a huge Destiny Child, Beyonce, Solange. I love your family, to be
Well,
honest.
thank you.
And I
do
just
too.
really want to say thank you so much for taking the time out just to talk to me, because this is monumental. And I just listening to your lecture, I've learned that you love pouring into people's lives.
Yeah.
And I thank you so much from the bottom of my
It's
heart.
organic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you so
One
much.
day we're gonna see this lady. Remember, I said it. She's gonna be all over TV. Watch it today, 12 minutes after 5. Right?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Guys, my name is Tony Hall once again with the one and only, the dad of all dads, I'll tell you, Dr. Mathew Knowles. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.